Hi everyone, Bandanner here. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the open beta. In the final days, it's almost over. I hope you've been having as much fun in it as I have. Well, except for yesterday, Saturday evening, when very sadly there were 8,600 people online, or 8,700, which is a lot. But unfortunately, there seem to be no game servers available anymore because there were simply too many people playing, and you were just getting stuck on a loading screen as if it wasn't connecting to those servers. So that went badly. But never mind. I've really enjoyed the beta. I hope everyone else has too. Thank you again to the people who've come to the channel and helped me with pronunciation of some of the Russian stuff, and talking a bit about some of the mechanics of the Russian stuff in real life as well, because as I say, I'm not a military buff, like in a massive way, so I don't know a lot of this stuff. So it's quite nice and interesting to hear it. My experience from Russian gear on a more detailed level probably comes from playing DCS and flying the SU-25T, which is one of the jets we're going to talk about here, funnily enough. I really love it in DCS. I think it's great fun. So this is our final tab. We've made it before the end of the beta. I mean, I always knew I was going to because I kind of planned it out. But it's not the end of the videos, because while I haven't been streaming and I've just been playing games myself, I've tried to record some of those games. And we'll see what I can either piece together. If either I'll put the whole games up or I'll piece bits together to try and make it look cool. Unfortunately, due to not having replays and just having to record while playing, it's difficult to get loads of fun angles and shots and things like that. So it's not like doing a proper replay video, which is a shame, but we'll stick them up anyway, and it gives us a little something to look at after the beta closes. So the final tab, the air tab. I mean, we start with this huge monster of a plane. 48,000 supply. 48,000 supply, or 48,000 heavy lift. You know, this is a lot of carry weight, and 125 people. Wowza, that is a lot of troops. I mean, it is huge, isn't it? The IL-76. Look at that thing. It looks very empty inside, actually. It's not actually modelled, I don't think, inside. Not very well, anyway. Oh, yeah. But, yeah. Massive. Absolutely massive. This thing has some guns on it as well. I'm not sure where they are. Where are these guns? Are they just, like, on the front or something? Because it does look like there's another cockpit or a gun pit down there or something. Someone will tell me in the comments, I'm sure. Obviously, huge, huge thing. You can't change it at all. It is just a massive transport. It is pretty epic, though. It is pretty epic. Okay. Next up is this little beauty. Okay, it's very old, realistically, and it chugs along at a slow speed. But, you know, it's a classic Russian jet. You'll have seen this in movies and TV shows, and if you played DCS, I'm sure you'll have flown it, and it's in all of these types of games. The SU-25 is just an iconic kind of jet, isn't it? Obviously, its main role, a bit like the A-10 Warthog, was designed for anti-tank combat, I guess, or it certainly ended up that way. An interesting fact that I think I learned from the Warno dev blogs is that the SU-25T is actually a model that is quite rare. Or that's, at least it was back then. I don't know if it ever went on to mass production, but the specific SU-25T model, I don't know if it was mass produced in the end, but I remember in the dev blog they were saying that in 1989 or whatever, when they're setting it, that there were very, very few. It was like a prototype. But maybe someone knows. Did it go into full-time production? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. I love this jet in DCS. It is so much fun to fly. It comes with such a wide array of weaponry, and you can have anti-air stuff on there as well. So, I mean, look at all of these. So you can have an optics package, so you can stick a radar on there. That takes it from 5,000 recon up to 10,000 for 20 points. I mean, this is already getting expensive, but wowza. That is a huge increase in line of sight. It can laze targets, obviously, I think with or without that package. It does have a... Does this one have it on? No, it's got... Oh, wow, that's wrong. Look at that on the bottom. It doesn't even fit on it. What the hell is that? Is that... What is that on the bottom? It looks like he... you know, I don't even know what the hell that is. But it doesn't fit. I was going to say, is it a fuel pod or something? But it looks more like a huge miss. I really don't know. That is... It doesn't fit either way. That is a mistake. Anyhow, moving on. So this thing has a GSH 230 30mm cannon, which... Where is the cannon thing for that? I think that's it there. See that little barrel there? Yeah, that's it. Very good at doing damage to ground targets. It's generally what it was used for, you know, a bit like the A10's gun. 40 to 80mm heat penetration. Can fire infantry, vehicles, helicopters, aircraft, and it counts as top attack on vehicles, which is a little bit obscene. I'm not sure that you would be guaranteed a top armor attack unless you dove down on the target perfectly. That seems a little bit... Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. That seems a bit wishful thinking. Certainly you could skim the top armor if you were flying towards it and, you know, across the top. Let's have a look at the actual wingtips. We'll just go through each of the pylons as usual. So, we've got the two R60s here. We'll find them in the list. This is the only annoying thing, is having to find them in the list every time. I wish when you selected it here, it highlighted it over here as well. Wishful thinking, perhaps. So this thing is just an anti-helicopter, anti-aircraft. So it's an anti-air missile. The R60, 2,000 meters. Nothing too fancy there. Max speed 600. You can have 4 times the R60, so exactly the same. You just get 4 of them instead. You can have the R73. That is, again, 2,000 meters. Just a bit more damage and stuff, but exactly the same, basically. It's just a higher damage version of the other one, but you can only have 2 of them. Or you can stick some ECM pods on there. You can have those on in DCS as well. But a few different options. On those outer pylons, you can have them empty to keep things a bit cheaper. You can whack on a couple of Cab 500 smart bombs. Pretty big blast radius there, 500 kilogram bombs. And they are low drag, so you have to drop them from a higher height. And they can be laser guided as well. They do have that marker. You get the S8 rockets. We've seen these before, 80mm rockets. These are for strafing runs, obviously, against infantry and vehicles. You're not going to use them against other aircraft. I mean, the mainstay of this thing is ground attack, so it's not surprising. The S13 rockets, those are the 130mm rockets. We've seen them before as well on the helicopters. Then you've got these things, the S25 rockets, down at the bottom here. Those are 2 340mm rockets. That's these things here. Obviously, they're just massive rockets with quite a big blast radius. Again, targeting infantry and also vehicles. You can stick a couple of the R73 anti-air missiles on there again. Or you can stick on the R77-1 missiles, which are again anti-air missiles, but these ones are only against aircraft, and they have 5,000 meter range. And obviously a faster max speed and higher damage. So they are long-range missiles that are available here. Okay, then on the middle pylons, you can either have the KH-25ML AMG, that's these bad boys here. These are lead pursuit missiles, so they're big anti-tank missiles, basically. They can be laser guided in, and they can target vehicles, not infantry though. 2,500 meter range, pretty big blast radius, 800mm heat penetration. So they're pretty good pieces of kit. Again, I believe you get a variant of that in DCS as well, and they're really effective. They are, as long as you have to target them right, and you have to be at the right speed in DCS, but they are really strong. Then you get the rockets again, all 3 types of rockets. We won't click on them once more, but you get the idea. Then we get the 500 smart bomb again. And then, of course, you can have some more R77-1s if you want to make it a little bit more anti-air capable. I'm not sure why you would, because you wouldn't really bring this in for anti-air combat. It's not designed for that. And then on the inner pylons, you can have a couple of fuel tanks, which I'm pretty sure those fuel tanks, yeah. So on the belly there is a fuel tank, but it doesn't fit. It just looks wrong, because it's like clipping through stuff. But you can have fuel tanks on there, on the inner pylons. You can have some KH-29ML AMGs. So that's these bad boys here. So again, lead pursuit missiles, can be laser guided, also targeting vehicles. Again, pretty good damage and stuff, and they are 1,200 millimeters of heat penetration. So look at the size of them. And again, I can't remember if there's a variation of that in DCS as well. Either way, very, very strong stuff. Then you've got the KH-31 ARM. These are seed missiles, 4,500 meter range, so you are seed capable with the Su-25. You can take out radar AA. So that is an option there. And then you get the 3 types of rockets again, so you can just load this thing up with loads of rockets for ground attack and do strafing runs. And then you'll notice there is another weapon here. So this comes pre-equipped with the Vikia missiles. So you can't remove these, it just comes with them. These things, 950 millimeters of heat penetration, 2,500 meters range. They're anti-vehicle. I think they ripple fire in the game, so they fire 2 at a time. They don't do that in DCS, by the way. They fire 1 at a time in DCS. But apparently they ripple fire in this game. I've never actually pulled it in to try it. Or not successfully pulled it in to try it. It's got shot down before it reached anything. But yes, apparently so. And apologies, because I know I'm pronouncing Vikia wrong. I think Vika, without pronouncing the R properly, I think someone said. But there you go. So, wide array of weapon choices, mainly directed at anti-ground. Then you've got the Su-30SM. Not a bad looking jet, is it? You've got to give it to the designers of some of these jets. They are very slick looking. They have very nice designs. So this thing has a 30mm cannon on it, which is right there. You can just see it poking out where it's got the black coating. You see that little gap there? That's the cannon. And then outer pylons, you can have the R73, which we've already seen, 2,000 meter range. You can stick some ECM pods on there, much bigger ECM pods. You can stick on the R73, but 4 of them this time instead of just 2. Or you can have 2 ECM pods and 2 R73s. I mean, if I was going to pick one, it would be that one, but it is expensive. Okay. Middle pylons. New missile for us to look at, the R27ET. So this is an anti-aircraft missile, only targets aircraft, 3,000 meter range, max speed 600 again, no big change, reasonable damage, same old, same old. The R27ER, 4,000 meter range. So that ER probably will stand for something, but basically longer range, higher max speed of 800 instead of 600. Same damage, I think, on that one. Then you've got the R77 again, which is the 5,000 meter range one, a little bit less damage, same speed. And then you can have those KH-29ML AGM anti-ground missiles on there. And you'll see I've got loads fitted at the minute, but obviously that would just be 2 attached to these pylons here. Then on the inner pylons, you can have it empty, you can have it with the R27ER, you can have the R77-1 again, you can have those 29ML AGMs, or you can have the CAB 1500. That's a 1,500 kilogram bomb, blast radius 180, suppressive power 668, penetration 100 millimeters of heat. If only it was 1,000, that would be devastating. Laser guided, so pretty effective. That's these big bad boys here. Look at the size of them. They're huge. And then on the fuselage, you can have an empty, the R27ER, the R77-1, the cab, or the KH-29. So again, same loadout. This is very much a bit of a mixed loadout, so you could go anti-air with some ground attack, or you could just go full anti-air. Get the option there. Next up is the Su-34. Again, look at the design, and I love the colour on this as well. I do love the colour, but very, very nice design again. Once again, the gun is down here. You can see all the vents above it as well, I think, so you can get the heat removed from it a little bit. So again, a 30mm cannon there. Can shoot at everything. And then on the outer pylons, you can have them empty. You can stick some ECM on there again. The R73, which we've already looked at, you can have the R73 but 4 of them. The R73 plus the ECM pods, or you can have some R73s and some R77-1s, so short range and long range missiles for anti-air combat. We'll leave it empty for now. Then on the middle pylons, you can have some of those R77s, which are longer range missiles. You can stick on there some Fab 500 SHL bombs. So 500 kilogram bombs again. High drag bomb this time. So this one can be dropped while it's flying low. The idea being it drops its bombs. They take a longer time to hit the ground and the jet has time to get away even though it's flying lower. Big blast radius on those, but just a standard bomb. Then you've got the ZB500 incendiary. So napalm bomb this time. Napalm counts as top attack when it lands on any kind of vehicle. Napalm does damage over time. It also does more critical damage, as in makes it lose its tracks, makes it lose its engine, etc, etc, etc. So it has a higher chance of doing that kind of damage. Then you've got the RBK 500 cluster bombs. So again, 500 kilogram bombs, I believe, and that's these bad boys here. So these drop, open up over the target and drop lots of submunitions over the area. These also do the napalm. So they do damage and napalm, specifically aimed at vehicles, but obviously they will damage infantry as well. Then you've got some thermobaric bombs here. Again, these things are great. They are treated in the game, obviously, as heat weapons, just because the game has heat and kinetic. It doesn't really differentiate other than some other special effects like napalm, but here you'll just see it has a massive blast radius of 150 for such a small bomb. If you compare that to this one down here, for example, 130 with the thermobaric, it goes up to 150. So it really starts to up the damage, or the damage radius. And damage 100, and you compare that down here to that one, just damage 38. So the thermobarics really do have a massive damage increase and a reasonable increase in blast radius. So they're very effective, but they are very expensive as well. These are low drag bombs though, so they have to be dropped from a height. The Fab 250s, so you get quite a few more of these. Do you? No, you only get 4. Oh wow, that feels like a rip-off. So these are just standard 250 kilogram bombs. I guess they are very cheap, but I feel a bit ripped off that you only get 2 of them. I feel like there should be 4 on each side. I'm surprised that's not an option there. Oh well. Then you've got the KH-38ML AGM. So this is one of those ground attack missiles again. Bit bigger this one, bit longer. This is laser guided potentially and hits vehicles. Pretty decent speed, 950mm of heat penetration. Good anti-vehicle weapon. Or you can have a couple of Cab 500 smart bombs. So these things obviously low drag, laser guided potentially. Decent range. Obviously you'll notice all of these bombs kind of have this 4,000 meter range. And the blast radius is pretty good again. Same as we saw down there for the high drag bomb. Okay. The inner pylons. So most of the weapons here are exactly the same. The difference is numbers. So 2, 2, 2, 2, but we can have 12 of the Fab 250. So you know when I was on about, I'm surprised there aren't more Fab 250s. Well, there you go. This is why. See that? You can have 3 on there. And then 3 at the back as well. So I guess maybe it's a weight thing. That the ones next to it can't have more, but yeah, 12 fabs. You can have the 38mm AGMs again, which we've had a look at. This time you get the option of the anti-radiation missile. So these things are SEED, 4,500 meter range, aimed at taking out radar AA. And of course you can have the 2 CAB 500 smart bombs again. And then on the fuselage, you can have all the same types of bombs. The missile, the CAB smart bomb, and then the new one here is the CAB 1500. 1,500 kilogram bomb. Just see it in the middle between the air vents and engines there. Look at that. The engine's not finished properly. If I turn around, does it look like that from the back? No, it's correct at the back. But if you look at it from the front, you can't see the engine properly. It's just, you can see through the plane. In fact, if you angle it right, you can even see through the engine. Yeah, that needs maybe a little bit of work. But nice model, though, from the outside at least. Okay, fine, that's that one done. The Su-35S. So, this thing, again, has that 30mm gun down here. Then we get outer pylons, which can have nothing. You can have the ECM pods. You can have an R-73 in the ECM pods. Just a reminder, 2,000 meter range. The R-77, which is the 5,000 meter range one. You have just 2 of the R-73s, which are 2,000 meters. 4 of the R-73s. Or you can have 2 R-73s and 2 R-71s. So the mixture again of short and long range. On the inner pylons, we can have the R-27ET. That's our anti-air missile for 3,000 meter range. You can have 2 of the R-27s and 2 of the R-77s. So, sort of mid-range and then long-range in terms of what's available here. You can have 4 of the R-77s. You can have 2 R-73s and 2 R-77s. You can have 2 R-37s and 2 R-27Es. So the R-37s are the long-range ones, which are 8,000 meters in range. So they're like your very long-range anti-air missiles. And you don't get that on many jets here. So this is like your option for long range. And then you can have 2 R-37s and 2 R-77s. So 2 8,000 and 2 5,000 meter range. That's a lot of AA. Okay, and then on the fuselage you can have a fuel tank, which is there. You can have a fuel tank and some R-77s. You can have 2 R-77s and 1 R-37. Or you can have 6 R-77s. That is a lot of R-77s. Good job the wheel and everything will be out the way when those things fire. But yeah, lots and lots of AA firepower on that bad boy. Next up is the Su-57, the fancy new one. So this again has that 30mm cannon, which is going to be... Where is it? Is it on the bottom now? I really want... Oh, there... Is that it sticking out the side? No, that's not it, surely. No. It could be hidden somewhere, and like it pops out, or something opens to let it fire. You know, I'm not sure where the cannon is on this one. I am curious, though. I can't see it sticking out anywhere specifically. And that's not it. No way. It's not right on the front. I don't know. There you go. I don't know where the cannon is on that one. Does anyone know? Is it just not modelled? Am I missing it? I could just be missing it. Anyhow, there's a cannon on there somewhere. The 30mm cannon again. And then the rear bay, you have a choice of the R-77s. We've seen them plenty. The R-37's 8,000 meter range one. You can have the KH-38ML. That's our anti-ground missile, or one of them. You can have the KH-58 USHK-ARM. This thing is a lead pursuit missile. It's SEED. It's 5,000 meter range this time instead of 4,500 like the other one. So it's a longer range missile. It is a top-down attack. It will attack radar. It does what it says in the tin. It kills radar AA in usually one hit. Then we've got the CAB 500 smart bombs. We've got the PBK 500U smart cluster bombs. Can we even see those? I don't think we can. I think it's supposed to be inside or they're not modeled yet. But these things are cluster, they're napalm, they can be laser guided. Basically, they're designed to kill vehicles, and they do have a massive 400mm of heat penetration, which seems like quite a lot. And then finally, you can have the KH-59 Mark II cruise missile. At least I assume that stands for Mark II. So this is a cluster missile. The top attack, 400mm of heat penetration again, and 4,000 meter range. But it's treated as a cruise missile, so if it's a cruise missile, it can be shot down potentially. Certainly the ballistic missiles can. I assume cruise missiles can be shot down as well. They fall in the same category, I'm guessing. Because you can also shoot down the seed missiles. AA can shoot down the seed missiles that are targeting them. So, yeah. And then the forward bay, again, R77, R37, KH-38, that KH-58 again, the smart bombs, the smart cluster, or again, the KH-59. So exactly the same as the rear bay. And then finally, we are there, the end of the entire list for the open beta. The Tu-160, the big bomber. You can have a lot of fun with this, because it can have a lot of missiles in it. Very expensive with a lot of missiles, but it's good fun to bring it in and just fire off a load of missiles all over the place. So this thing, various options. So you can have 44, that's right, 44 thermobaric bombs. That is a lot of bombs. You are going to absolutely carpet an area. You can have 14 of the Fab 1,500 pound bombs, which doesn't sound like a lot when you can have 44 of those, right? You can have 2 Fab 9,000 pound bombs. That's 9,000 kilogram bombs. I mean, they are massive, but I'm really curious. I mean, the blast radius is huge as well. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone drop them. Again, this is the type of stuff I want to test in the game, but I need the editor, or I need 1v1 capability, or playing versus AI, or something so I can test this stuff properly. 14 Cab 1,500, 1,500 kilogram bombs. Big bombs again that can be laser guided. 12 of the KH-555 cluster munitions. Or cluster missiles, I should say. They are a cruise missile, 6,000 meter range. Again, 400mm heat penetration. You know, again, very nasty piece of kit. No napalm that time, though. And then these are the ones that I like to bring in. This is the KH-101 cruise missile. It is obviously a targeted attack missile, so it hits roughly where you pinpoint it on the ground. And the idea is to bring this in behind your lines and just whiff off all 12 of these missiles on enemy targets and hope you hit something. It's quite fun to watch them launch and then hit. There is a little bit of a delay between the launches, but it's pretty cool to watch it happen. Unfortunately, it's really expensive at 650 to bring in, so it doesn't happen that often. But yeah, nice piece of kit. Again, I'm sure it would be a lot of fun in single player as well. But there we go, that's everything. That is everything from the open beta. Can you imagine how many things we're going to have to go through in the final game to do these videos? That's going to take an age. But I've enjoyed going through them because I've learnt stuff that I didn't know about a lot of the tech on both the American and the Russian side. As I say, I'm not some huge military buff. I have a basic grasp, and there's some stuff I know a little bit more about because I've looked it up, but it's always fun to learn new stuff. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Please remember to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And I'll see you all soon for some more Broken Arrow.